wants me to start ranting. Kyle says that there are three there's 3 years of things that I could fucking rant on off the back of my hand, but that's part of my problem is that I think about what to say and I get overwhelmed because there's so much to say and there's so much shit going on and ew. Ugh. And I have a lot of opinions, and if somebody gives me like a little bit of a conversation, I've got something to fucking say about it, but then put me on the spot or put me in front of a screen when no one's home and there's no context and I have absolutely nowhere to start. So I started by just hitting record today, and that's what's happening. Um, I don't think I've done a really good introduction video, so let's just do it. I'm Stephanie Tanner Portell. Stephanie Portell. Uh, Kyle Portell is my man, and yeah, I think Stephanie Portell is what you'll find me at across the internet. But people who've known me personally know me as Stephanie Tanner or just Tanner. Uh, Now these days my identity consists of like mother and nurse and business owner. I've done and seen a lot of shit. That it's really hard. Like I've always been kind of undefinable, and I think that probably stops me up too. Is like, how do you fit this wild woman in a box? I always have to remind myself to try, like, to not try to do that, and to just be me, and to just show up in like all the super warm, loud, audacious types of ways that I do, and just fucking be myself and give you exactly what I've got and show up exactly the way I show up to work and give you exactly who I am. So this is who I am. Uh, what's the down and dirty of it? I've been a nurse for 6 years. Spent the last 3 years practicing in the ER on an Indian reservation in South Dakota, which is a hot topic that I could go on and on and on for. And I've basically worked my entire nursing career as a rural health nurse, critical access hospitals, ER. I've done some hospice, some clinic work, some like nutritive IVs, integrative health stuff. Which, you know, I thought like maybe as an herbalist and as a holistic nurse, I'd be more interested in, but it's really not my bag. Like my bag is taking holistic knowledge and a mindset, and my mindset as a healer into like the darker corners and the darker spaces where people actually fucking need it, where they're not necessarily seeking it out, but bringing my magic in. So, yeah, in my mind and in my experience and the opportunities that have presented themselves to me, that has meant uh, working in very small rural communities with veterans and communities where the average age is 65. And then with indigenous populations and very rural, isolated indigenous populations. Specifically, I mean, like all of the native people I take care of are Lakota. So that's me. As far as nursing practice goes, I'm an ER nurse. I'm a holistic nurse working on certifications for both. Which, you know, I think most holistic nurses are definitely like really completely all the way over here in the complementary and alternative medicine world. But of course, like I've got really solid clinical like trauma ER skills too. So there's going to be a lot of more conversations about that. But really, it's my background is complementary and alternative medicine and health. I started education as an herbalist, I was an herbal student at 20 and was leading women's circles in the living rooms of friends' houses and collectives in Denver. about women's health, DIY gynecology, reproductive herbalism, and like, I don't know, what was I teaching? I was teaching a class called positive menstruation is what it was called. It was called radical menstruation. And then we decided to kind of uh, temper it because we were getting a lot of people that were just from all over the place and all walks of life, and people that were bringing like their teenage daughters to the class and all kinds of people. And that class was running through Denver Free School every single week for over 6 months. So that was how, like, that was sort of my inception into like leading spaces, being a community health worker. That was also my portal into doula work. I wasn't a mother at that time, but was going to become a mother very shortly afterwards, unbeknownst to me. But I knew what a doula was through that work and through the Betsy House in Denver. Shout out to all of my friends in Denver who know what the Betsy House was. But yeah, where was I? Do 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 do. Oh yeah, doulas. So I was like a young feminist when I was 21, got pregnant, and the natural thing to do was to get a midwife. And then as soon as I found out that you could get a nurse midwife to attend your hospital birth that Medicaid was going to pay for, I was all in. So, and in Nebraska, there's no legal option for a home birth anyway. It just wasn't, I mean, I was 21. Don't know that I would have been totally comfortable with that for my first birth anyway, which is fine. But that's like a whole nother topic too that I can talk to you guys about, like my birth stories, 3 kids and 3 different birth settings. And like 3 vastly different experiences. But I was 21, had a doula, had a midwife, had a completely awful, traumatizing, and psychologically fraught postpartum experience that I was untreated for months and months and months, led to the deterioration of my marriage, led to me being a non-custodial mother, led to, honestly, it led to me finding my partner now 10 years ago and moving out of state and having 2 more children while my first child stayed here in my hometown with his dad. And that's been that's been such a long journey. So now we're back in Lincoln because of custody issues and, getting my parenting rights back, which has been a test, many, many, many tests, which is like another video or another 50 videos, like something else to talk about. And then, yeah, like studied herbalism through that. I mean, we had, when my first baby was a baby, I started herbalism practice and created products and have been selling those products for over, 10 years. We had like a little, like a wild little compound in the city. And, and then I moved out to South Dakota and then got into nursing school and started nursing school when my second baby was 3 months old. And then I graduated pregnant with my third baby. And so I have just not done things the easy way. And that seems to be just how I learn my lessons, is just like really having to put my nose on the grindstone and just take it. So I have a lot to teach about resilience and how to thrive out of trauma. I've had a really kind of fucked up, dysfunctional childhood. And to really heal and to feel the healing from the inside out, and to like really always set your sights on the path to recovery. Not that that's ever a destination, but just like making it completely like infused as a practice into your life. So there are a lot of people that are way more smarter it comes to trauma recovery, but I think that as somebody that really strives to be trauma informed in everything I do and the people I care for, and as a nurse that sees a fair more amount of like full spectrum trauma than most nurses by nature of working on an Indian reservation in the ER, you know, I think that what I have, like the things that I witness and the perspective I have on that stuff, is something that needs to be brought forward, and like not with the goal of like, oh, creating anything other than just deep connection with you guys. So that was like a 10-minute down and dirty introduction to Stephanie. He said, just get on and rant. I'm like, well, put your backdrop up, lady, and just start talking. That's what he told me. So that's what I did. Let me know in the comments below if any of this was interesting and you want more, or if there's something that you really like picked out of here that you want to hear more about, because there's a lot to be said. And especially, my God, if we account for anything that's going on in the world today, pandemic, nursing shortage, nursing staff issues, the unionization of nurses, that's just like one little corner of my like focus right now. Well, yeah, let's start picking this apart and having a serious conversation about it. All right. That's it. Is that good? He's not even here. Okay. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.